Tonight, our host, Donna Yeager, interviews CCI volunteer puppy raisers Ann White, Michelle Kelsey, and Sue Guzman. Now, here's Donna.
Hi, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move, and I'd like to welcome our very special guest, Ann White. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you.
And Sue Guzman. Oops, I'm sorry, Sue.
That's okay.
It's okay. No worries.
Happy to be here.
And Michelle Kelsey.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Good to be here.
Michelle. Thank you. Now, first of all, I'd like to ask what your official title is with CCI.
Volunteer puppy raiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been involved with it?
I have been involved for 8 years.
Okay. Wow, that's great. But I understand, Michelle, you've been longer as a puppy raiser, right?
That's correct. So
Okay.
Sue and I have raised 9 dogs for
Wow.
Canine Companions. We started back in 2000.
Oh, fantastic. That's great.
Yep.
Now, this is your most recent puppy, right?
We're actually just puppy sitting this puppy.
Okay.
This is Liesel.
Liesel.
Yes.
3.5 months old.
She's beautiful.
And then the one we're currently raising is down there.
Okay.
That's Nissa. So here's a little, and she's
Nissa.
chomping on some ice. Keep her hydrated.
And Nissa has her own name tag. I think
She
that's
does.
She does, that's right.
She's official.
Correct.
Well, I know that it's a big job when you first get the puppy. You basically have to train not only for obedience, like sit, stay, you know, but you have to get the puppy used to being in the public, right? Yeah, right.
Very true.
Yeah. And Ann was very kind. I accosted you when you were eating lunch over in San Jose, and I was so impressed at how well behaved the puppies were being under the table.
And that's exactly what we expect of them
Yeah.
when we're out and about. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. They're the incredible invisible dogs. They wake up when you need something, they go back down.
Right, exactly. So, Sue, how are your thoughts about this? You've been doing it for 9 years, right?
We've done 9 puppies, and
9
each puppy we have for just over 1.5 years. So we've actually been doing this for almost 15 years now. And we were only going to do 1.
Yeah.
And then addiction set in. So it really is a labor of love. And the most common question we usually get, and we got from you actually, was when you're done doing the training, how do you give the puppy back?
Right,
because
right.
they become such a big part of your life. So we've done that 9 times now.
Wow.
And it's never easy.
No.
But when you see what a difference these dogs make with the graduates they get placed with, it's very, very very, very simple to get supportive, to be supportive of what the effort is.
Right. But how did you actually find out about CCI?
Well, actually, all 3 of us have slightly different stories on that. I actually used to live and work up in Santa Rosa, California, which is where the headquarters of CCI is.
Right,
At the time, I was working for Hewlett-Packard, and we did a lot of special support events for CCI when they were first getting started almost 30 years ago in the Santa Rosa area. But Ann and Michelle have different getting started stories, so I'll let them tell you what their story was.
Sure. And I got started with CCI. I actually had a back injury. So I was playing racquetball, and I snapped my back. I have 2 titanium rods in my back. And so I found out firsthand what it was like to be disabled. No bending, no lifting, no twisting. And so I was out on short-term disability for 6 months, and I wanted to give something back. And so I found out about Canine Companions from Sue and decided to get a puppy. And that's the thing, is when you turn one in, then you get another one, you start all over again. And I have a full-time job. I have a regular job at IBM. So that's the great thing, is that you can do both.
Yeah.
And then
good.
And then I got interested in Canine Companions for Independence and raising the pups. I have a nephew that has special needs. So he could be a recipient of one of the dogs. And at the time, I was a mom that didn't work outside of the home. So the dog came everywhere, did everything, and got a lot of experiences with us.
Oh my gosh, and that's so important. It really is to, have the dog be well-rounded in all aspects of life, you know, because you don't know what the dog is going to encounter when they're with a disabled person. So the more experiences they can have, the better.
Exactly, and that's part of why we co-race, because they get exposed to lots of different things.
Right, right, yeah.
Multiple home environments, multiple work environments.
Right.
Take them on airplanes, we take them on Caltrain, we go to the movies, we go to the stores. So
Costco.
you will run into any of us in almost any place you go in public here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And when you're out and about as a puppy raiser, you pretty much have to allot at least 20 extra minutes.
Double.
Because you're probably going to walking around with a cute little puppy like this. It's a walking billboard, and we welcome the questions. It's always great to let everybody know about Canine Companions and pups.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you're educating the community, you know, really.
There's peanut butter in there.
Yeah, she's really working it.
She's really enjoying that. That's one of their treats.
That's cute. Sounds like a pacifier.
Yeah,
sure
it does.
pretty much. Yep.
It's a Kong pacifier. And of course, the lovely pink one.
Yes.
I only had black one. But I remember. These are very nice color coordinated.
Yes, we try. We try.
Very good. She feels feminine that way. Very nice.
Yeah,
She's going for it.
she's working it.
It's a good idea. You'll get yours later, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of airplanes,
Yes.
I mean, are the airlines pretty understanding with the keeping
They
the
really
dogs?
are. The level of awareness has really improved just in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
When we flew with our first puppy, we did back in 2000, every time we flew with her, it was hours of education on the phone with the airline attendants. And now when we fly, there's a much higher level of awareness. So there's still some steps you need to take to make sure it's safe. But the staff is extremely supportive on the airplanes. And it's a really good training for the dogs.
Yeah.
And they're actually our carry-on. So the command is under, and they go under the seat in front of us. And then that's part of why we have the ice here, is we want to keep them hydrated. And so it's easy to get a cup of ice, and so we won't give Nissa any because it makes a lot of noise. But that's a great way to make sure that they don't get a lot of liquids, you know, because they have to hurry. That's how they toilet on command. But we make sure they're hydrated.
Yeah. Well, but I think it's adorable. I mean, really, it's you know, they do that when you're in the hospital. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you can eat is ice.
It's ice chips. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, but that's wonderful. And I mean, I took a service dog with me to D.C. That's a long flight.
Yes,
Very long flight. And man, everybody wanted to pet my dog. He's like, please don't pet the dog, please don't pet the dog.
It's hard. You're the center of attention.
And that's actually one thing that we work on because we're out in the public so much. A lot of people either stay away from us or they'll come up to us because we've got the dogs, and they ask if they can pet the dogs. And really for us, it's maintaining that they're nice and calm in public so that if somebody comes up to them, they don't get too riled, I guess, when they're saying hi. So it's okay to say hi to them, just asking the person that's holding the leash if it's okay, and keeping them under control is pretty much what we do as puppy raisers.
You probably did that too. You said the dog is working,
Exactly,
and then you have to decide whether it's appropriate. And sometimes when they do have to go to the bathroom, we say, we're on a business trip. You can walk with me to go.
That's easier. But as volunteer puppy raisers, there's basically 3 things we're responsible for. One is a series of verbal commands. The second is to make sure that they have good house manners so that they'll be well behaved in their own home and others. And then the third is to give them as much public exposure to different places as possible, which you were just highlighting. So,
and they're good icebreakers if you think about it. So when you're in the when you're exactly. So when you're in the wheelchair, you feel kind of alone, and when you have the dog, it takes the spotlight off of you.
Exactly
When you have the service dog.
good girl. Good visit.
Yeah, the dogs. Oh my gosh, they are invaluable, and to have puppy raisers makes all the difference in the world. Because if it weren't for you guys, really, the disabled people would have a much more difficult time. You know, because they really need that socialization. You know, from all walks of life, all different situations, and it's marvelous.
Thank you. Well, and these guys do things like turn the lights on and off,
Right,
get stuff
yeah.
out of the refrigerator,
Oh, yeah.
open doors, help with the laundry. The list is pretty extensive.
Oh, yeah. And in my situation, I drop things on a
Yes, that's a biggie.
30 or 40 time a day type of a situation. So
Yeah.
my dog's great at picking things up for me.
Yep.
So you don't realize how important your service dog is, and but it's about the dog is very, very important. And
They're your best friend and
Yeah.
your best helper,
exactly.
all at the same
Yeah.
time.
Right.
And there's basically 4 different kinds of dogs
Oh,
that
yeah.
Canine Companions. This is everything except blindness.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so these dogs do things like you said,
Right.
where they'll pick things up. So
Right.
that would be for a person who's disabled.
Yeah.
The second is a skilled companion,
Right.
where you're partnered with someone else. So maybe the person can't take care of the dog, so there's a
yeah.
2-person team.
Right.
It's called a skilled companion team. The third is a facility dog,
Right.
which is where they go to occupational therapy or
Hospitals,
hospitals or court.
Nursing homes.
Yeah, and actually now in the courts to help children testify, which is pretty exciting.
Wow.
And then we also have dogs for veterans who have lost a limb. And then the
right,
fourth are
right.
hearing dogs.
Right.
And they
yeah.
alert to fire alarms, doorbells,
Exactly.
telephone.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, these are amazing dogs.
So you should ask Lisa what she's going to be when she grows up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a service dog.
Are you excited?
This is like, what am I? Chopped liver?
Chopped liver.
I'm the other bookend.
So Lisa's brand new, right?
I
How old is
know.
Lisa?
3.5 months.
Yeah. And then Nessa's a year old. She just had her birthday.
Just
She's
had her
1
birthday
year.
2 days ago.
Wow. She's very well behaved. Well, both of them are very well behaved. Yeah, sure. Good.
Well, and the training with the pups starts, I mean, even as soon as they're born. I mean, the puppy raisers have to do a lot with the dogs, but the breeder caretakers, their manual is almost twice as thick as the one that we receive, because as soon as these dogs are born, they're socialized and handled. And
sounds. They play sounds for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then after we turn them in, then there's 2 weeks or 6 to 9 months of advanced training with professional dog trainers, and then 2 weeks of team training with the disabled folks.
Yeah.
So it's about 2.5 years.
Oh my
And these
God.
dogs would cost $50,000 if you had to pay for them, but they're free of charge.
Yeah.
So it's all donations.
All the hours and hours of work. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a labor of love. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Well, and also, when I go into a movie theater, I didn't realize how much I need the assistance of a service dog. So, how are the movie theaters with the puppy raisers?
I actually have a
need to
funny
tell that
story.
story.
So our first puppy, her name was Gloria. And we went and saw with, what was the name of the movie? We went and saw a movie, and one of the dogs in there actually barked. And Gloria was sitting down at the bottom, no problem. She was very quiet. But when the dog barked, Gloria stood up and acted, and the people in front of us said, "Wow, these are great speakers."
The surround sound on the dog.
They had no
bark is
idea there was a
amazing.
service dog in training that was sitting there watching. It was that Kevin Spacey movie where he was talking to the dog.
Oh,
yeah. So, but they're fantastic. That's part of the deal.
Definitely.
Part of the training.
And then also, I mean, I know that I'm just thinking of all the places where you can go to experience that. But I'm sure even like in the city, that's really a critical place to train the dog, because not only for the disabled person, but for the other citizens too that are in the area. They need to learn. They need to realize that they are working. They're working dogs. And if they're petted in the middle of crossing the street, that could be very dangerous, and we do need to educate people more to realize that they're here to really assist the disabled person, and they've got a job.
Yeah, and in the city, there's all kinds of things. There's pigeons, there's manholes, there's grates, there's lots of things that we train them, socialize them for. And if you want to see these dogs, we have an event coming up, Dog Fest, in October 11th.
Cool.
Yep, October 11th at Memorial Park in Cupertino.
Oh,
it's a major fundraiser for Canine Companions.
Cool.
You want to meet them in person?
Yeah,
And then bring your dogs, your well-behaved dogs. It doesn't have to be service dogs.
Right.
It's a fun day for everybody.
emphasis on well-behaved dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, well, obviously, but you'd be surprised. Most dogs are pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. On a leash.
Yes, if
Yes,
you want to check it
definitely.
out, it's www.cci.org. I'll say that again.
Okay, good.
That's our website.
Okay, good.
Hi.
Very good. And I know that volunteers are very important for, for programs and activities like what you said at the park. What is it? Which park is it again?
At Memorial Park
Memorial Park.
Cupertino.
Okay. Yeah.
Dog Fest.
But you're right, volunteers are a huge part of the program.
Yeah.
Canine Companions is a 501c nonprofit, and so everything about the organization is done by volunteers and donations, and that's everything from puppy raising, like what the three of us do, to fundraising, to breeder caretakers.
Yeah.
So we're always looking for other folks who might want to help, whether you would like to have a dog in your home, or if you'd just like to help out at some of the events that we do to support the program.
Right, right. So it could even just be like a weekend of volunteering here, you know.
Sure,
here and there.
absolutely.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
And we also do presentations to schools and Lions Club and to the library, reading to dogs. Do you want to see some commands?
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Lisa, or obviously Nissa wants to
Nissa,
work. Here's one of them, one of the commands.
Nissa, off. Good girl. So this is Nissa. She's 1 year old, and she already has been introduced to all 30 of the commands that she needs to know. She doesn't have them all perfect yet, but she's doing many of them very well. So most of the commands the dogs do are positional commands, so that they can either be next to you where you want them, or they can go get something if you drop it on the floor. So she's in a sit right now. So we're going to have her do 2 different commands. So the first thing we'll have her do is a down, in case we wanted her to lay down. Nissa, down. Good girl. Excellent. Nissa, sit. Good girl. I'm giving her a treat to reward her. Nissa, lap. Good lap. A lap is just the front paws on the knees. So, for example, if you drop those keys you were talking about earlier, she could pick them up and then do a lap, and she'd be right here to drop them into your hand.
Very good.
Good girl. Those are just
why
a
don't
few.
we try the ice?
Oh, yeah.
Not a problem. She's totally loving it.
She's been waiting for this.
She's totally loving that. So it's a little bit warm here in the studio for the dogs, so we want to keep them hydrated. And so we don't blow out the microphones. I'm going to have her do it down so she's eating far away from her microphones. Nissa, down. Good girl. Release.
And they can do a whole host of other commands.
Good girl.
So there's 30 that we teach them: up, down, lap, quiet, kennel, off. Let's see what else. Side, under, heel, shake, out. I mean, there's 30 of them, so they're very helpful. Wait. Wait at doorway.
Well, and also the ice would be a good situation. For example, if you're on an airplane and you can't have the bottle or the bowl sloshing around because of the activity and the movement.
Well, and you know this, Donna, and probably most of your listeners do too. If any of you out there have Labrador Retrievers or Golden Retrievers, what they are not known for is clean drinking. So one of the things we do not train these dogs to do is to drink without drooling. So the best thing we can do to make sure they don't get messy is to actually give them water in the form of ice, because then they don't make as much of a mess.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Good girl.
Exactly.
Good girl.
Well, and I know socialization is so important, and I mean the fact that like I said, whether they're in the city or they're in the country, or I mean there's so many different situations that it's really important to just keep them.
She wants that ice.
I want the ice. The ice habit. Get it?
Good one.
Good girl.
It's all kinds of things. Icebreaker, ice habit. We could have a whole day of this.
Nissa, off.
Now, Liesl is,
Sit.
she's learning the basic things right now, right?
Yeah, she can
Sit, stay, down.
Right, sit down, stay. Her name is a command,
Oh, right,
and that just means for her to look at the person saying her name.
Yep.
And then it's really important for her just to get her out. Like if I was to take her grocery shopping, I wouldn't go and do my 45-minute store.
No.
I would go in and just show her the doors. The doors open. The doors close. There's people here. There's smells here. Because you really want the dogs to come into, say, a grocery store and ignore a lot of things. There's a lot of food around. There's a lot of people to cart and how the cart makes sounds. So for her right now, a lot of it is just experiencing things. Really
and sounds.
Well, I mean, even like when you're in a grocery store, it's hard if a little piece of food falls on the floor. That's really difficult for the dog to not want to pick it up. Like, leave it.
Yes. And that's a big deal. So, because we don't want them in restaurants eating off the floor. So leave it and don't.
Exactly. Exactly.
Matter of fact, one of the stories that puppy raisers love to hear is we do train the dogs not to eat anything off the floor. So you'll notice we aren't putting this stuff on the floor where the ice cubes we're feeding them are. And that's to make sure they don't eat in a store or in a restaurant. And they test that actually at CCI at advanced training with one of the most dreaded tests of all. It's called the French fry test.
Oh boy.
They take a bunch of large French fry orders from McDonald's, throw them all over the floor, and the puppies have to walk through them and lay down in the French fries but not eat a single one.
I couldn't pass that.
That is a really hard test for the dogs.
The French fry test. So we work with them. And we actually lay them down, and you can tell they want those fries.
Well, Michelle, tell us what the actual web address is.
Sure. So it's www.cci, stands for Canine Companions for Independence. So www.cci.org, O-R-G.
Oh, okay.
And please come check it out. It's a great website.
Great.
There's all kinds of pictures.
That's wonderful.
Great stories.
And there's information on Dogfest up there for for the upcoming event.
So we'll say that again because we definitely want to
come out and meet us.
Okay, so it's next weekend or what?
No, October 11th.
October.
So you've got some time. Put it on your calendar now.
That's right.
At Memorial Park in Cupertino.
Oh, good. That's good. So we have time.
Plenty of time.
We have time to prepare.
That's right. And we raised these dogs. It's one of the taglines is we raised these puppies, these miracles, one dog at a time, one puppy at a time.
That's right.
So it's a labor of love, but we love it.
It's wonderful to have the dog get all that attention and really to it's so important. Really important. Definitely.
Well, we can tell we're at the end of our interview because Nissa just laid down and went to sleep. So I guess she's telling us we've covered enough.
Baby.
That's gonna fall asleep.
Well, I'm gonna talk about something that's incredibly emotional for both me as well as you guys. The graduation.
Yes.
I know. Here I go. I've got chills going up my spine because it's so important for the disabled person, and But I think you guys need to be thanked again and again and again and again and again and again, because I don't think you get enough recognition of how much work you do, how hard it is, both physically and emotionally. It tugs on your little heartstrings, because we all adore dogs. That's obvious. We're animal lovers, and so, but that's like the hardest thing to give your babies away. But just know that the disabled person greatly appreciates it, really appreciates it, and really it opens up their world to them. It really does. And you would be amazed at how I was so shy, and I would stay in the house because I didn't want to. I was just afraid, to go out there, and by going, and learning the training to receive an assistant, a service dog, it's so important, and it just opens up the world to everybody. It's just great.
Well, you're very welcome, but I think I can speak for all three of us. The biggest thank you that you can give us is just for us to see how happy you are with the dogs and to see what a difference they make in your lives. It's
definitely.
All the gratification we need.
That's absolutely
And you're seeing a lot more people with the service dogs out there right now, and And like you said, in the hospitals and everywhere, it's amazing.
Well, they open doors, they open hearts.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
really pretty special.
Yeah,
So,
and in the South Bay, East Bay area, there's about 40 puppy raisers, active puppy raisers right now for Canine Companions.
And also, we have to thank your employers, your employers. You know, the people who are willing to let you bring the dogs to work. Because that is so important. It really is.
It's essential.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Makes all the difference in the world.
And fortunately, here in the Bay Area especially, the vast majority of employers are very supportive. That's not the case all over the country, so we're pretty lucky here in the Bay Area. And seldom is that a hindrance to someone being able to actually be a puppy raiser.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to ask.
And we help break down some of those walls, so then when the graduate gets there, we've helped communicate the program.
That's great.
And it also makes you a very popular employee. I actually had somebody come over today, and I was like, "Hi, how's it going? Do you need something?" She's like, "Just wanted to say hi to the dog." And I was like, "Oh."
Well,
but part of what we train them is they have to leave them alone, right? Because they're working. So as long as they ask, though, there's no balance there.
And if they've had a hard day, it's kind of nice to see a puppy like
really nice.
Sure.
Makes it all better.
Somehow the world is better.
Place with puppies.
Yeah, when you see this little face.
I know.
Well, Michelle, can you tell us one more time what the website is?
Sure, it's www.cci.org.
Okay, great.
And this has been a real treat to visit with you and to hear how dogs have helped you, service dogs.
You have the phone number memorized, though, right?
I do. I do. The website's better, but the phone number is 707, because it's up in Santa Rosa, 577-1700.
Okay.
So 707-577-1700. But please go to the website because it's got some fantastic content, cci.org.
Right, and it talks all about
And don't forget Dog Fest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Come out and see us.
We'll put it on the calendar
you can meet. She'll be a little bit bigger by that point.
Oh, yeah.
A lot bigger.
She'll be
It's a lot
bigger
of
in a
fun.
month.
When you go up to the website, you can search for Dog Fest.
It's right on the front page. So.
Well, I want to thank you so very much, Anne. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. This was great.
And thank you, Michelle.
Sure, thank you, Donna.
And thank you, Sue.
You're so welcome. It's been a real treat. Thanks for having us.
And thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Donna Yeager. Have a wonderful day.
We're on the move to make this world a better place. We're on the move. We're striking out to set the pace. We all can choose to make a difference. Our time is overdue, and we collect our dreams, take them on the move. We're on the move to make this world a better place. We're on the move. We're striking out to set the pace. We all can choose to make a difference. Our time is overdue. If we collect our dreams, take them on the move. If we collect our dreams, take them on the move. So let's pick up our dreams and take them on the move.